Yo, what's up, YouTube only gang? Today I'm going to be doing what if Kuzan was a pirate. So basically how this what if is going to start off is Kuzan is going to be a notorious pirate with the icy no MI. His affiliations are Whitebeard and the boy, Rayon, and only Dragon. Now Dragon is going to get him a fruit. Oh wait, where are the vice admirals? Okay, I'm gonna tell you Kuzan's crew. So the first one in his crew is Cancer. Second one, Maynard. Third one, Ronce. No, not Ronce. Third one, Lacrix or whatever his name is. And those are his 3 division commanders. And then the rest of his crew are just randoms. So, guys, don't worry. When the Whitebeard pirates are destroyed, they're all gonna go to Kuzan. So who's gonna be the admiral? Fujitora. Like, duh. Fujitora is going to be the admiral. Like, he already the admiral, an admiral in the series. We might as well just make him an admiral in this video. So, yeah. We see Kuzan as a strong pirate, ramaging on the seas. Not really ramaging. The Marines see that Kuzan is a cool pirate, and try. And when the events of Alabasta happen, they try to get him to, well, become one of their warlords. Kuzan rejects this as no. Kuzan takes this as he sees a Marine, like getting yelled at by this man, and this man has a big lava arm. Okoji then turns around as he's actually a spy for Whitebeard in the Marines. No, he's a spy for the Revolutionary Army in the Marines. As he walks up to the man who has lava arms, this man's name is Akainu, the Admiral of the Marines. One of the 3 Admirals of the Marines. Kuzan tells Akainu, stop. As Akainu looks at Kuzan and says, you pirate scum. Now by this point, Kuzan's been inside the Marines for like a couple of weeks. And Sengoku, he kind of sees what's going on through the cameras. And then Akainu then throws his fist at Kuzan, as Kuzan then creates kind of like an ice shield to block his fist. As Akainu's pushing down on Kuzan's fist, as it's starting on Kuzan's ice shield, as it's starting to crack, and then it breaks. But then Aokiji's not there. Aokiji's behind Akainu with his arm on Akainu's shoulder, as he touches Akainu's shoulder and tells him, cool down. And he freezes Akainu. Sengoku's like, huh? As then, Akainu bursts out into lava, bursting out of Kuzan's entrapment. As then he lavas up his fist, and then he starts doing lava hand to ice hand combat with Kuzan. So Kuzan summons 2 ice swords to try and capture Akainu, but Akainu just destroys them as he runs at Kuzan, and he starts shooting his lava fists. It's like a minigun or something, or a blaster. Kuzan dodges all of these as he puts his foot on the ground, making the entire hallway freeze. As then 2 ice swords then come dropping from the ceiling. As Akainu dodges these, and then he sends a big punch at Kuzan. Kuzan creates like an ice template to save him, deflecting Akainu's attack as he runs at Akainu. And he then uses Ice Phoenix Bird or something like that, as it goes running, as it then goes fuming right at Akainu. As Akainu smashes it with his lava, Kuzan is now right in front of Akainu, as he kicks Akainu right in his gut, sending Akainu back into the wall. He rushes at Akainu, creating an ice sword creating like a kind of ice spike from his hand, as he stabs Akainu in his shoulder. And then Sengoku is about to speak in the Tremonters, or whatever you want to call them. But then Kuzan freezes Akainu's arms and legs, and puts him in a big boulder of ice, kind of like the water prison. So he just says ice prison as he freezes mini ice prison as he freezes Akainu. Akainu's trying to get out, as Kuzan cuts off the part where it's the head so Akainu can breathe and talk. "You're not gonna get away with this, you pirate!" As she starts to burst out his lava, but then Sengoku yells over the Tremonters, "Stop it! This fight is over!" As Akainu's just standing there, and Kuzan looks back, and he looks at the young Marine who's now frozen, as he only froze his skin, so he breaks the ice. As he tells the Marine to go running off, and the Marine says, "Yes, sir," and he runs off. We then see Kuzan in the office of Sengoku. So it seems you're an admiral level combatant, just like Mihawk. Not to brag, but I'm decently strong in my opinion. Yeah, you are, and your 3 division commanders, they're not as strong as regular 1st division commanders and stuff. Your 1st division commander is as strong as a 3rd division commander. Your 2nd division commander is strong as a 1st division executive, and your 3rd division commander is as strong as a 2nd division executive. They could get stronger. True. That turned off the fan. True. Well, thank you. I gotta go. So we then skip to a month before Marineford, and Akainu and Aokiji fight again. And actually, Akainu is about to fist Aokiji straight through the heart. But then Aokiji just turns his entire body into ice, getting smashed by Akainu's lava. As when he transforms back, he's a little burnt. But he's not fully transformed. He then stabs Akainu right in his gut, making Akainu cough out some blood, as he then touches the ground, creating a ginormous ice sword to capture Akainu. And then he then starts to walk away, as he tells Akainu, "From this day on, tell Son Goku, I'm sending in my permission slip to leave the Marines." "I won't let you do that!" "Yeah, you will. Or else." As then, all of a sudden, Aokiji then puts his hand out as a ginormous ice ball appears. I'll kill you. No, I'll stab you in every part of your body till you die. And Akainu, he ain't afraid of that, but for plot armor, we just gonna let him go, because we all know Akainu don't give up. He would've burst right out of that ice and tried to kill Aokiji, even when all those ice swords are coming after him. So, we're putting in plot armor. As we see as Aokiji walks away from Akainu, he then takes the rest of his crew, and now by this time, Uh, his first division commander is as strong as high a low first division commander level. His second division commander is a mid second division commander level. His third division commander is first division executive level. Okay. So then the acts of Marineford happen as he goes to help Whitebeard. He comes in on an ice scythe with the rest of his crew. As he says, I'm going to take down you Marines and make the world a better place. As Akainu then lavas up his fist as he says, Kuzan, I'm not going to deal with him right now. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna kill that. I'm gonna kill Whitebeard, and then make the Marines win, something like that. And him and Whitebeard, they clash. They have their big old fight. Kuzan. Now y'all, I actually want to do Kuzan versus Kizaru to show you their strength differences. To show you like Kizaru, it's not an automatic loss. It's literally like because I don't care what y'all say. To tell you the truth, in my opinion, Kizaru is the best martial arts fighter in the Marines. Not like, yes, more like the best hand-to-hand combat, even though he uses his legs. He is a beast. But we're going to be having Kuzan go up against Fujitora. As Kuzan and Fujitora start fighting, Fujitora is just dodging every attack that Kuzan sends at him. As then, Fujitora then tries to blitz Kuzan. As he rushes at Kuzan, trying to slice Kuzan in half with a gravity slash. As Kuzan easily dodges this, he then sends his foot down. As an ice slash then goes at Fujitora. As Fujitora blocks this with his sword. Then, Kuzan is nowhere to... I forgot, Fujitora's blind. Fujitora cannot sense Kuzan. As Kuzan then appears out of the ground. Or out of a puddle of water. As he then grabs Fujitora's leg. And Fujitora's leg is about to be frozen. As he then stabs Kuzan's arm. Making Kuzan repel back. So, Kuzan takes out like kind of a sword. As he throws it right at Fujitora's eyes. Fujitora... he senses the sword and he dodges. But then, Kuzan then blitzes Fujitora as he puts his hand on Fujitora's chest and he starts to try and freeze Fujitora. But then, out of nowhere, Fujitora can't use... I'm gonna make Fujitora use his things. But then, out of nowhere, a ginormous, pressure of gravity then slams onto Kuzan, smashing Kuzan into the ground as Fujitora then flips around his sword. And he hockeys it up as he's about to stab Kuzan straight through his chest. All of a sudden, Kuzan then yells, Ice detonation. As he then bursts into ice. Making Fujitora get frostbites and getting him stabbed and stuff like that. As the gravity pillar goes away, he then gets back up as he grabs Fujitora's sword and... Fujitora tries to send down a meteor at Kuzan. Kuzan soars up in the sky as he then freezes the meteor. Now, Fujitora and... he then smashes his leg into the meteor, making the meteor fall onto all of Marineford. As, they're like ice blocks, so don't worry. He then creates two ginormous orbs. And they all turn into ice spears, as they all go flying right at Fujitora. Fujitora tries to block all of these, but then he gets stabbed in his leg and his arm. As Kuzan then geppos right at Fujitora. And he then turns his hand into a scythe as he stabs Fujitora right in his chest, making Fujitora cough out some blood. Fujitora then slices off Kuzan's leg, making Kuzan yell in agony. As Whitebeard, Marco, and them, they all look at what is transpiring. And Whitebeard says, "I thought that brat was admiral level. He's supposed to be able to take down that guy." As then, Kuzan then gains back his wits as he turns his leg into ice and then imbues it with hockey. But you can't see the hockey. He just imbues it with hockey to keep it stable. As then, Kuzan, while the spike is inside of Fujitora's chest, then freezes the scythe, making it grow a little larger, and then it starts to freeze Fujitora's arm. As then, Kuzan then rips out the scythe, and Fujitora's arm has now fallen off. Kuzan then falls to the ground. Kuzan then just stands there as he says, "Well, it seems I'm the stronger in this fight." As Fujitora, he has his arm down. A leg for an arm. And Fujitora just smirks as he says, "An arm for a leg." And Fujitora's about to get knocked out. But then he jumps back up and he tries to kick Kuzan. But Kuzan just tells Fujitora, stay at rest. As he grabs Fujitora's leg and freezes Fujitora's entire body. Solid. As now Fujitora has to thaw out. As Kuzan then starts to limp. And then starts to walk away limping. But then, Marco, he gets shot 6 times. And then he gets kicked right into the ground. And then Kizaru then comes right at Kuzan, kicking Kuzan right in his gut, making Kuzan cough out blood. As Kuzan gets back up and he looks at Kizaru. Kizaru then creates a sword as he says, "Kuzan, you got to fight a Kainu and you were able to defeat Fujitora. Now it's time for you to fight me." Now listen. Kuzan's a little weakened, but he's not too weakened. As Aokiji then uses his ice foot and he turns the entire ground into ice. And then spikes then come right out of the ground. As what's his name? Kizaru then flies up. As he then sends a bullet. Laser straight through Kuzan's chest, and he flies right at Kuzan as he's gonna cut off his head. As he just says, "Oh well, seems like I win." As Kuzan grabs Kizaru's arm, freezes Kizaru and slams him on the ground, making Kizaru's body go into nothing. But then a ginormous light beam then comes from the sky, and this hits Kuzan as he then gets pushed back. As he's panting. And he's then met with a barrage of lasers straight through the chest. As he coughs out blood. And then he's then met with a kick right to the face. Now, I'm not even gonna cap. I really think this is Kizaru going serious. He's not being stupid. As Kizaru then flies over at Kuzan, and he's holding his finger at Kuzan's head, and he says, "Like I said, seems like I'm gonna win." "Oh, no, you're not." As then a ginormous ice pillar, a ginormous ice spike, then comes straight from Kuzan's chest, stabbing Kizaru. As this actually did hurt Kizaru, but it didn't kill him. as he then flies right back at Kuzan, kicking Kuzan right in his gut, making Kuzan cough out blood. As Kuzan then says, "Full body freeze," or Ice Age, or Ice Time, or something like that, and he freezes all of Kizaru. Kizaru then melts all the ice as him and Kuzan get into a sword to sword or sword to hand combat fighting. As Kuzan's pulling out strapping out a lot of his moves. As he's then met with a laser straight through the tongue, making him cough out some blood. And then, and then a ginormous ice sword then comes out of nowhere, making Kizaru jump back. As then Kuzan tries to blitz Kizaru, but Kizaru saw this. And when Kizaru's about to punch Kuzan, Kuzan dodges. When Kuzan's about to punch Kizaru with Hahaki, Kizaru dodges as he grabs Kuzan's arm and slams it right into his gut, making Kuzan cough out blood. Remember, Kizaru. Listen. Kizaru was the main one who was trained by Zephyr, and we saw how Zephyr's combat abilities were. So yeah. As he then creates a sword and he turns it upside down, he's about to stab it in Kuzan. Kuzan then dodges as he freezes Kizaru and then creates an ice sword and stabs Kizaru straight through the gut. As then he then breaks out the ice and Kizaru's coughing out blood. He's then met with an ice glove fist straight through his face, knocking out or making Kuzan win. As this is where I'm going to be ending off this video. If like, comment, subscribe, share, so have your friends on your social media platforms. YouTube, peace.